Hello. Today is an interesting day. Some emails were released that kind of about global warming and how the organizations that are pushing it don't really know what they're talking about. The truth of the matter is, let's talk about this truthfully for a little bit. Is global warming real? And now everyone's going to say, no, it is real. Global warming does happen. Every 50 million years, the Earth is covered with green from top to bottom. And halfway through that, approximately 25 million years, it's covered from ice, top to bottom. That happens. So is global warming real? Are we in a global warming cycle? I hope so, because I sure don't want to be in a global cooling cycle. But to say man is a major contributor to global warming. Well, does man contribute to global warming? Yes, he does. But let me try to give you it in a perspective. You have a 10-acre piece of land. 10 acres. And somewhere on that 10 acres is one and only one ant nest. That's it, just one. They build their nest there and they put it in. You know, the mounds and all that. Just one. No more than that. Don't think, well, they're going to... No, it's not they're growing. It is just one. Now it rains. And the land gets... Some of it gets eroded. Well, did that one ant nest contribute to the erosion of that 10 acres? Yes, it did. But did it contribute significantly? No, it did not. But it's still, if that ant nest wasn't there, a minute amount of that erosion would not have happened. And that's the same with mankind, with what we're adding to the atmosphere. Between what we're adding to the atmosphere and the rest of the world is adding to the atmosphere, it is completely different. Then what should we do? We should take advantage of global warming. For example, they say now in Alaska you can grow crops where you couldn't grow before. Take advantage of it. They're saying in Siberia, methane gas is being released. Take advantage of it. Why? Because sooner or later, global warming will be followed by some kind of cooling. Global cooling. Now we, in just the past 300 years, or the history of the United States, from the colonies to now, has experienced some global cooling. Well, when was that? The mini ice age, the time of Napoleon. Krakatoa exploded, and when that happened, it completely filled the atmosphere and caused a year without winter. Year without summer. Europe had 2 years without growing crops. So, what did global cooling actually cause to happen? Any significant cause for that temporary cooling? Which is not as great as real whole world global cooling, just a small section. You might remember the Black Plague, the bubonic plague. Why did that happen? Because the rats and mice and animals that lived in the fields, because of the coaling, moved into the towns. With it, it carried their fleas. With it, it carried the Black Plague. Yes, global cooling caused that. Plus, starvation. Because now they couldn't grow crops where they did before. That is the result of global cooling. We should prepare ourselves, because the Earth does go through cycles, for when the next global cooling cycle begins. All it would take is an erratic, violent, major volcanic activity, and boom, we might not see summer for a couple years, even longer. The growing surface of this planet for food will be greatly reduced. Are we prepared for that? Are we taking advantage of the global warming? We cannot stop it. Unless, for example, we'd like to go to Antarctica, maybe use all the American and Russian nuclear weapons and just blow Antarctica into the atmosphere. Then we can reduce global warming and go into global cooling. Talk about some polluted air then. So, what am I saying? These people who got up on the pedestal and was yelling about global warming, never bothered to open a science book or even the history of the earth. They never bothered to look at the truth. They panic-stricken people with lies. Ronald Reagan once said, trust in the people with their mind and hearts. That only works if they know the absolute truth, the real truth, the whole truth, not politically correct. I will never be politically correct because when I speak to you, I must speak to you about the truth of what is and where it's going. I'll never make promises I can't keep. And that's going to be hard being the President of the United States. No, it isn't. And believe me, the Democratic Party right now is doing everything they can that when I become president, it's going to be very, very tough to straighten up. But we can do it together. That's if we want to. But the only way that will happen is if you want to. Because I can't do it alone. I can only do it with us, the American people. So, listen to my videos. Listen to what I say. Pay attention to it. If you disagree, email me. Let me know. If you want to help, please contact me. Let me know. I need people in every state now to start organizing a campaign headquarters in each and every state. I will be sending out letters to the state capitals, letting them know of our intentions. But I need you people out there to start contacting me. Not just listening to me, but contacting me. I need you people out there to start telling the rest of the country we together can be the answer. Our present tax system doesn't work. It's too old. It's inadequate for the type of debt we have. We need something else. Our government is way too large. And it can't. The people can't afford anything bigger. I heard something ridiculous on the news today. Secretary of Defense says, well, if we increase troops in Afghanistan, taxpayers are going to have to pay for it. Shocker! Your paycheck, Secretary of Defense, is paid for by the taxpayers. Everything our government does, shocker, is paid for by the taxpayers. Our government does not own money. The only way it gets any money to do anything is via the taxpayers. Think about that. So we're already paying for the war in Afghanistan. We're already paying for the war in Iraq. The taxpayers are already paying for the billions of dollars you give away overseas. The taxpayers are already paying for the rip-offs Congress is giving us. The taxpayers are paying for the blunders the present government is doing. Get that through your head. The taxpayers are already paying. This is JD, and remember, global warming is real.